Into every generation, podcasters are born. Two guys in all the world, chosen ones. They alone will wield the strength and skill to discuss the vampires, demons, and the forces of darkness, to lament the spread of their evil and the swell of their number. This is the Untitled Buffy Project.
Welcome to the 5th episode of the Untitled Buffy Project. This one is called Beer Bad. Buffy's having a little trouble getting over Parker, and she turns to beer at Xander's new place of employment, some college town bar, and it kind of turns her into a Neanderthal. It is also one of the most reviled episodes of the entire series. It was written by Tracy Forbes and directed by David Solomon. Damn it, I had to cheat at the end. So Beer Bad, Carter, was nominated for an Emmy, believe it or not, for obviously the writing, right?
Yeah, because everyone clearly loves this episode so much.
This was nominated for an Emmy for outstanding hairstyling, which I didn't even know was a thing.
Yeah, that exists.
Apparently, hairstyling in a series is worthy of an Emmy. But no, all kidding aside, this is probably one of the most reviled episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Well, I will say this. I'm going to go through my notes, and I'm going to read some of them to you.
Will we find that everyone else's criticism is well-founded, according to Carter?
I think that's true. What the f*** is going on with Buffy? Oh, shut the f*** up, Parker.
She's so down in the dumps.
Really? And then eventually I just started typing, this sucks. This reminds me of the equally bad Season 1 episode where everyone turns into a hyena. And then, finally, as always, Giles is the only redeeming quality at the end of the episode. And then, yes, Willow sees through Parker's bullshit. Ugh, I hated this episode. This was a really bad episode, Sean.
Okay, so let's look at the things that this episode does accomplish. First of all, Parker, at the beginning, Buffy is still like pining for Parker, and by the end, she has.
In the beginning, it's a dream.
Yes, she likes having dreams about the men she's entangled with, as you'll see in this entire series. But by the end of the episode, she's clearly over him and shows it by clubbing him with a branch.
This episode was so bad, man. So I looked up the Wikipedia on this. They tried to get like government funding for being a like anti-drug and alcohol thing.
Because it's kind of it's a little bit of an after-school special kind of episode.
They didn't even get the funding. They didn't even get it. They were like, the government was like, yeah, this is too abstract for us.
Even though there weren't any vampires in this episode.
Yeah, no vamps. Xander is a bartender? What?
Well, that is going with a running gag of this season that Xander can't hold a job more than like an episode at a time. that is kind of the beginning of that joke. So that's
okay, fine.
Related, but also unrelated.
How about Buffy's inability to deal with Parker?
That is clearly
building.
That is the worst part of the character development in this episode, because it doesn't really feel like Buffy.
Like they're building to like, I am befuddled and bemused with Buffy's reaction to Parker. Although I will say, I love the end of this episode. The beginning is like not great. I mean, like Xander as a bartender and like this whole Buffy like being
down in the dumps buff.
Yeah, I don't like that. Parker ends up with Willow at the end of the episode.
And he kind of explained his. This was great. I watched this episode with my wife, and she's watching this part with me where Parker's trying. He like explains, like,
sometimes two people just come together and it's a spontaneous thing, and we don't think that we're gonna spend the rest of our lives together or anything. It's just like a momentary passion. He's like really, and he sounds so genuine. I'm putting the stupid voice on it, but he sounds really genuine. And Alicia turns to me and she's like, oh, well, he doesn't seem that bad, which was the exact reaction you were supposed to have, because then you walk right into the wall later where he's all of a sudden like trying to sweet talk Willow, like he's gonna work his way into that sack, and she's like, no way.
Willow is just like totally, like, she's totally like, no way.
Are you really trying to do this to me right now?
I love Willow in this moment, you know?
And
like,
Parker has that face like, oh, I just got caught.
He totally does. I really think they wasted this episode. I really think that they could have done the stuff they did with Willow, the stuff they did with Willow and Buffy, and they did not need to do this like Neanderthal nonsense.
It's kind of another baddie of the week, and it was an innocuous baddie. It was just the bar, like the bar owner. Like, it wasn't some big conspiracy or anything.
Right, he's like, actually, one of my the moments that I kind of like is Xander finds out like what's going on,
right?
And the bartender is like, well, you know, my brother-in-law is a warlock, and he told me how to do this. And Xander's like, gosh darn it, like, I need to fix this now. And it wasn't like he had to explain anything. It was just
like, oh yeah, warlock.
Yeah, that's going on now.
I think my biggest problem was, of course, that Cal Penn was not the first, second, or third featured like a guest star. He was the fourth.
That was a long time ago, though.
He walks up at the beginning, the very first scene with them. They all line up in a row looking at Buffy like longingly, like this beautiful woman. And he's the fourth person back. You can't even see him because Buffy's head is blocking his face. No one knows who Cal Penn is.
Well, that was back in the day when no one knew who Cal Penn was.
And then he worked for President Obama.
A question I have. So Buffy was all Buffy at the end. Why did she not like get all Buffy, you know, fighting people when Xander carried her out of the bar?
I don't know. The beer?
She was beard up with she was all neat.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know, and later things, I just think that they, once again, I'll just say, this episode sucked.
A definite misstep.
I hated this episode, and in my notes I compared it to the episode in season 1, and I have not gone back to. I've seen a lot of episodes since then. I've compared my notes to the season 1 episode where they have a demon, and he becomes a computer virus who Willow becomes attracted to, and that is, to this day, my least favorite episode of Buffy. And this is getting close.
It's a contest now.
It's not there, but it's getting close. Did you like anything about this episode, Sean?
I found some of its comedy entertaining.
I like that she saw through Parker's BS, you know?
Yeah.
I really like that she was able to, like, cut through that.
And it's a winning moment for Willow, who at this time is, like, she's in the middle of what is the destruction of her high school sweetheart relationship.
That's gonna happen in the next episode. Anyway, this episode sucked. This episode sucked.
Let's just end it there.